everybody. Long time no communicate due to the rain. Well, we're at a place called Port Macquarie, but we're actually leaving Port Macquarie at the moment, so we're going to have to come back and film Port because we haven't really been through it properly today. We've got bad weather. So firstly, happy Easter to you all. You'll be seeing this around about the Easter time. It's leading up to Easter for us. And folks, I just need to, I'm just going to stop for this car. Hang on. I just need to tell you all, before any further ado, that I had an idea. Now, Tom probably told you that I had an idea, and when I have an idea, Tom usually acts on it pretty quickly, if he likes the idea. So now I'm in amongst a lot of traffic here, so I have to concentrate and talk about my idea at the same time. I'll just get around here. So my idea, I'm going to present to you, if I can. I just need to be able to concentrate a little bit. Look at this weather. We've been hit with rain today on our way down here. We're a few hours south of Grafton. And it looks like we've got roadworks. And I have to merge right here. And look at that weather. We're heading to a place called Dunbogan. Now that sounds a bit silly, doesn't it? It's called Dunbogan, but we've never been there before, so we're taking you to Dunbogan with us. And it's been raining a lot. Actually, it's been raining a bit too much. We really are sick and tired of it, and we've copped some heavy weather today, one really heavy patch. Lucky I've got full wets on at the moment, and it actually started out okay, but it's turned quite cool. I'll get just before I talk too much, because I'm in an area that I don't know, that I've never ridden before. There's roadworks, there's a lot of traffic, so I need to be able to concentrate and have a little chat to you all at the same time. Hope you're all doing well anyway. I've just come back from Brisbane actually. I went up there to do a little dog sit for my niece who went away. I took my friend with me, and the dog is a little tiny toy poodle that ruled the whole house. Her name is Olive. I was actually pleased to get away. She drove me mad. Gosh, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know Port Macquarie very well. I don't know it at all, really. I'm hoping the weather improves, other words it'll be a not so crash hot couple of days. We're going to a place called, it's Dunbogan, but it's the Crystal Waters Caravan Park. Caravan and Cabin Park. But if we can come back to Port, or through Port Macquarie, or do Port Macquarie to show you. Port Macquarie is a very lovely town, place on the coast of New South Wales, very popular, very expensive. I can't afford to live here, that's for sure. Actually, I think Tom's caught up a bit behind me. I'll have to get him in front in a minute because I might get lost. I can't see him and I don't want to go the wrong way. See, I get lost in a paper bag. Oh man, the wind. Oh, the wind is, she's a-blowing. I've got a stream of cars behind me. And I don't know whether I'm still in a 60 zone or I can go faster. I'm in a 100 zone. I need to let these cars past, I think, because they know where they're going. Anyway, folks, here comes my idea. Whoa! What was that? Holy dooly! Look at that, there's that idea. Okay, we're back down to 50. I might be able to talk about my idea. It wasn't meant to work that way, folks. The traffic and the circumstances ballsed it all up for us. Our introduction to my idea. But anyway, there it is up ahead. So Wendy's idea. I decided whilst laying in bed one night that I didn't want to lay in a tent and try and get dressed in a tent, a little tent, etc., 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 or with swags even. And I put forth to Tom quite a while ago. I said, now what about those, you know, those little trailers that you see that fold out? And he said yes. So we did a little bit of looking on the internet and I said, oh, now I can tow it. Of course, you know, thinking that I could. Of course I couldn't. I thought that I was going to be clever. And he said, I don't think so. Trying to tell me nicely that don't be a stupid woman. Anyway, so my idea was let's have a look at them and then maybe Tom could upgrade his bike. We knew that it was going to cost, so we haven't done it yet, but we're actually going to sell our caravan and probably our Prado four-wheel drive because it's really only for towing the van and we're not using the van. So we did some research and the one that is right in front of me right now is an elite camper, and the fellow that builds them is a biker and he uses them himself. He was an engineer for Qantas for many years and then he's been building these for 20 years. So, oh gosh, and it was the only one that you could fold out and still have room inside to stand up or and get changed and sit down and eat or whatever, actual inside where the bed is. All the others, it was just the bed and then you have to go outside to do anything else. So it was down south of Sydney at a place that absolutely escapes me for the minute. Isn't that terrible? I just can't think of it. And so we wanted to do a train adventure anyway, so we caught the train from Grafton to Sydney and then Sydney to the place.
Well folks, we're on a train. We're in first class, believe it or not, and this is a sleeper cabin. It's got quite comfortable seating. We're the only ones on this carriage that I can tell. But why are we on a train, you ask? Shower and toilet. Let's have a look.
I don't think anyone needs to see that.
Why are we on a train? Well, it's a secret. We're not on the Riker, or we're not on the bike. We are on a mission, and
we will be back on the Riker.
We will be back on the Riker. It's raining again. We had a hell of a storm the other night. Rained overnight last night. Rain forecast all week. So we have an excuse not to be riding again. And I know you're sick of excuses. We're on a train and we're going to eventually get to Helensburgh, but we've got to go to Sydney on this train and then catch another one to Helensburgh, and we'll show you what happens from there down, up, over and out.
And him and his wife picked us up and we went out and ate, and they had a B&B at their place, and so we stayed there. It was all very good. Looked at the camper, realised that yes, that's the way we'll go. Ordered the camper, got back on the Helensburgh, that's the name of the place, beautiful Helensburgh. Back on the train to Sydney, back on the train to Newcastle, and stayed at a pub in Newcastle for a couple of nights so Tom could look at the bike that he was thinking about getting to tow the little trailer. And he had one bike in mind, but bought another after he test drove it. Anyway, it's a BMW 1200 something or other, and Smarty Pants Tom now has cruise control that he's let me know that it does work better than mine. It's much easier to engage than mine. And handlebar warmers. So I want handlebar warmers too. Anyway, we came home on the train, and then so many days later he went back to Newcastle on the train and picked up the bike and then rode to Helensburgh, had a night again with his name's Steve and Shelley, his wife, and picked up the trailer. Steve had it all ready for us and he came home. And we are now testing it out, putting it on its first little camping trip to Dunbogan at Crystal Waters Caravan Park. Isn't that great? And you will see it. Unfortunately, the weather is windy as well as a bit rainy, so I don't know how the first assembling will go. We have assembled it at home, I will admit, but the rain was a nuisance. The ground was damp and it was soggy, and Baxter and I had a sleep in it, but it was on slopey. It wasn't conducive to the weather at all. Anyway, hopefully it will be today. If the rain holds off long enough till we get it up. And when it dries out enough, we'll get our caravan down and on the neighbouring properties so we can get photos, and we have to re-register it. And of course, we possibly will change. I do love my Prado, but we're wondering if it's a necessary thing to have when you're not towing a van. You know, do we really need it? A smaller car would be sufficient. and then we'd put some money back in the bank, and that makes me happy too. But this little gorgeous little thing, it looks like it shouldn't have been taken away from its mother, doesn't it? You wait till you see it fully assembled. It's a doozy. It's as good as a queen size bed, which we need. All the screens are midgie proof, so the caravan's not. We always get insects in there. The midgie proof, probably wouldn't get as much breeze through, but I'm happy because I don't like the insects coming in. The bed folds out and it's off the ground. Oh, that's cute. And you don't have to climb over the other person to get out of it. You get out of it. It's not an, well, I guess it's not an east-west bed. It's a north-south bed, if that makes sense. It does have an annex that you can put up either side. You make your choice when you get to your camping spot. And I opted to pay extra for a flyover. So if you're under trees, and it could make it a bit hot in the summer, I'm not sure. And you're likely to get bird droppings. It's probably best to have the flyover, even in the rain. The only thing with tents, this sort of thing, when it comes to canvas, it's controlling mould. And the only thing that can control mould is ourselves and how we look after it. You know, you've got to have it dried out. If you pack it up damp, as soon as you get home, you know, dry it out. And anyway, and it has a good amount of room when you get out of bed to stand and get changed. The annex has the walls with it that he threw in the walls. We didn't ask him to, but he did. And we're very thrilled with it. But we don't know how thrilled yet. We'll put that to the test at the beautiful Diamond Waters Caravan Park. In between, I think, the river and the ocean, but we'll know that when we get there. And there's the ocean down there, and it's choppy, rough. It's the 15th of April today. But we did have a great trip down to Sydney. It's a long way. It's on the train. It's a really long trip, but we were happy, and especially when we came back to Newcastle, just stayed in a great pub and had a great couple of days. And it's good because we're classed as seniors, we get half price, almost half price, I think, train fare. Not pensioners, but seniors. So that was good. Now this looks pretty. This is a nice spot. Look at those lovely little houses there, been refurbished, right on the water. Anyway, we decided to go and buy sleeping bags for in this, because I want my own sleeping, because I sort of toss blankets, put them back on, toss blankets, put them back on, and I get cold. I get a lot colder than Tom in the winter. So we go and buy this sleeping bag, and they say it's very, very comfortable to -9 degrees, and you'll survive to -32. Well, we probably won't be going anywhere where it is -9 degrees, although unless we go down to the snowies. Anyway, Tom's is a lighter weight one than mine. So we brought them home and thought, well, we'll try them out. Oh, gosh, it was so bloody hot. It was so hot. I had to kick my legs out. Now I'm concerned that it might have it too hot. And it's got a sort of a canvasy top, so when you're moving it, it makes a bit of noise. It's not actual canvas, but it's got a noisy. It'd be great in the freezing cold. Looks like we're going through a place called Laurisham. Anyway, they're so big. While I was in Brisbane, Tom tested them on the bed, and of course they're huge, but you can. The brand is Wanderer, and got them on sale. But you can unzip them and just use them as a blanket if necessary. And we'll probably come back here over the next couple of days if we don't stay in the caravan park all day long, which we probably won't, and have a little wander around these shops. I don't know what there'll be to look at, but I guess we'll find something. I think I'm going to get a dumping of rain again. Obviously he needs to discuss something. Oh, no, we're looking at the map. We're looking at the map, folks. Now, he has got something set up on that bike, but I'm not sure how it all works, and I don't think he is at the moment either, that he can see where he's going. A beautiful mountain there behind. Yes. I think he stalled it. Oh, there's some kangaroos. Oh, can't quite see them. I have never been here before. Oyster leases. Yep. They do have a lot of oyster growing down here. I've never been here. Diamond Head, Dunbogan. Well, we're going to Diamond Head Caravan Park. Diamond Waters Caravan Park, sorry, at Dunbogan, so this way. It's quite exciting, but yes, never been here, and it looks absolutely beautiful, so I'm happy. It is school holidays. It's not like us to go away in school holidays, but we wanted to put this camper to the test, and I had to go to Brisbane, and then we didn't want to be away over Easter, and then there was something else happening, and then I promised I would look after a friend's 2 dogs for 2 weeks starting in May. So we had this little window of opportunity, so we've grabbed it. Whether it's the right or wrong thing to do in this sort of weather, I'm not sure. But tomorrow onwards is meant to be so much better.
Alright guys, we'll call it quits here. That's long enough. Come on back and see what the part 2 is like, the setup.